Hey everyone, it's the Angry Honey Badger. Today we're going to be looking at another build video. Today it is Graves. And yeah, as you can see, with some of the wins, I've been doing pretty good with him. He's a pretty good champion. Actually, I currently have a full win page, which is nice. Always a good thing to have. Alright, starting with overlook of Graves and his abilities and everything that he does, this pretty much sums him up fairly well. He's not actually too difficult to play. You can stream some stuff together to play him well, just get certain things off in certain row, obviously, to help. But his attacks are really strong. I would say his health's maybe a little bit weaker than that, but I haven't been really building any kind of health items on him. He doesn't really need it. He has so much damage, you can just go do some good damage and just hit people and, blow them up. So we're going to start by looking at his passive, which is he gets increased armor and magic resistance the longer he remains in combat. So if you're close and you're starting to fight them, or if you're just, you're outputting damage onto them, you start to stack. I think it obviously goes up while you're fighting and while you level up in the game, but you get more armor and magic resist. I know at one point I noticed I had 30 at the beginning of a fight for magic resist, and it was past 65. So it stacks fairly well, and it's really nice because if you start a fight and you're not taking damage right away, you'll actually build that all up, and then you'll be able to survive. So kind of an interesting passive, but it works out fairly well. Next, we're going to look at his Q, which is his buckshot. He fires 3 bullets in a cone, damaging all enemies in the path. And this is the first ability I take with him. It's a good poke early on. It's got an okay cooldown. So that's the first real thing I take. It also, you can hit people with multiple of the bullets. So if they're like right on top of you and you hit them with all 3 of them or 2 of them, they take an extra 35% damage per bullet. So it really does scale nicely. So you get rewarded if you're really up close in the fight. So sometimes you don't choose to be up close because they jump all over you, but you can output that little bit of extra damage. So that's really nice. Next, we're going to look at his W, which is his smoke screen. And he fires a canister of smoke in a target area, creating a cloud of smoke. Enemies inside of the smoke cannot see outside the smoke unless I believe they are attacked by a certain enemy. But even then, I don't know if they are. Basically, it shows up on your screen like Nocturne when he does an ult across the map. You get all that darked out area around you. That's what it's like inside the smoke screen. It's really good for throwing it up to scare away people from running through a certain area in case they don't want to run through it for a second and they get attacked. It's good for initiating fights or starting fights, or throwing it in the middle of a fight so their team gets disoriented and starts to spread out. So it's a good confusion tool to use. So that's smokescreen. I take that once at level 3 and I keep it there until later in the game when I level it up, after I level up my Q and my E. Next, we are going to look at his E, which is his quick draw. He dashes forward and gains attack speed boost for several seconds. Hitting enemies with a basic attack lowers the cooldown of this skill. So kind of similar to the movement of, not really a roll, but of Vayne. When she does her roll, she rolls to the side quick. He does a quick dash, and then he gets increased attack speed. It's nice for getting closer to a fight, or if you're trying to catch up to someone, or if you're just trying to dash away from someone if they're getting too close, or you need to dive back under your tower. It's a good one. I take that at level 2. And then finally, we're going to look at his ultimate, which is collateral damage. He fires an explosive shell, dealing heavy damage to the first champion it hits. After it hits a champion, it basically scatter shots and explodes, dealing damage in a cone. So there's 2 separate damage indicators that happen. You get the first initial hit on an enemy, and then anyone else behind it in that cone funnel, after it explodes, it does extra damage. I think it looks super cool when he actually uses it on screen. It's just awesome to watch. It also does great damage. So sometimes when teams get really piled up on each other because you're fighting in a narrow area in a back area of a map, or not in a main lane but off on the side, you can hit everyone with it and do good damage with it. So it's definitely a solid ultimate, and it's got a decent cooldown. I think it's only about a minute, so you can use it quite often. It's great for last hitting people when they're standing on their tower and they think they can get away. So those are his abilities, and now let's go take a look at him in lane and how we build him. Alright, now since we're in the game, we can start talking about the build, masteries, runes, and everything else we're going to talk about today for Graves. The first thing we're going to start with is my starting item. I'm going to just start for now with a Doran's Blade. It seems to just be a pretty good, I mean, everybody knows what the Doran's blades do, or the Doran's items. It's all the nice perks of being a low level. It's a great low level item. So yeah, gonna take that first. It's nice to have a little extra health, and yeah, that's just gonna be the first item I'm gonna go with, and I'm gonna hold on to it for a while. So the little extra damage is nice, but mostly that health is nice. 3% lifesteal isn't too much, but that's all right. So we've been poking at him already. We have Corky and Tarek bottom, and I'm just poking at him when I can. I have some support with me, so I'm getting my heals and everything. So I'm going to be able to stay in here and last hit a lot. So we're actually doing decent damage to Tarek, and I think he kind of comes out, and we're going to make a move on him. It's early, but first blood is always nice to get, especially since it is so much gold. So I've moved him. We've done significant damage to him. I'm going to flash him to ignite him, but right when I do flash forward, he flashes at the same time. I get ignited, take a tower hit, and I am just going to barely die, which kind of sucks. I'm going to admit it. And that was very unfortunate. It was a good idea for me to probably flash and try to get the ignite on him, but he flashed at the exact same time, so I got unlucky, and then I took that tower hit, and that's no good. So I did die. But luckily, I had been farming all right for those first 2 levels, and I had enough to, get my boots, which is always a good thing. And I bought some candy corn because it's tasty. But that was, like I said, unfortunate, but it's going to happen. So luckily from here now, we're going to start to turn things around and start to do things the way we want to. As I stated, I do take my Q first, which is that 3-bullet poke that I like to take first with Graves. And it's just good, like I stated in the beginning. It's just a great poke. It scares them away. It does good, sufficient damage. And its cooldown isn't, super short, but it's up fairly constantly. So you can use it quite often. So as you can see, Corky's getting low because he's just been taking those shots over and over. And I'm getting healed up so I can take the damage. And I'm just going to be last hitting as I can so I can just get fed. So I do take my Q first, and then I do take my E second, so I can dash quick to them and then pull a Q. So here we can see that Corky's alone, and we're just going to have that flash in. I'm going to slide forward and then use my Q and finish off Corky. So pretty quick little kill there. He should have, in theory, I don't know, maybe not have gone back. He was probably feeling pretty safe, but we're already level, down here, we're 4, 5, and 7 so far, so I'll hit 6 in a second after I lasted a few more of these minions. But everything's going fine. I did take my smoke screen at level 3, so I could have that ability at my disposal. It's like I said, it's great for scaring people away. They don't ever want to go run into it after you've put it up because they know they just go completely blind. So it is great. It's also very nice if you want to put it in front of turrets. So they can't really come out to poke you too much. And then if you do it in front of your turret, if they're coming to attack and they want to come physically attack the turret, if they're a physical champion, then they really have to go try to attack. But if they go standing and then start hitting them, they won't know where it's coming from. So it's great for using at turrets. So now I've got a fair amount of gold because of that kill, and I'm last hitting fairly well today, actually, which is nice. And I'm going to do what I would call a Mordekaiser move. I'm going to do a flash, ultimate, and ignite all at once. And as you can see right there, that just ended him fairly quickly. I knew I'd go into turret damage or turret range, but I knew I'd be able to get out of it quick since it wasn't deep into it, and I didn't take too much damage from it. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I take the spells I take with Graves. I go with flash and ignite. Ignite, everybody knows that it's it's pretty good for ending people when they're on the run. Or if you just want to start using it for obviously champions that regenerate their health, like a Mundo, or just to stop the regeneration. But I took that, and I like to take Flash for ranged characters most of the time. So in case they get crowded by other champions getting on top of them, they can just flash away from them. It's also nice to have the dash that Graves has, so you can just flash and then use your little dash to get away even further. So it's pretty safe. You can get out of most sticky situations with him. So starting to poke at him some more. I'm just last hitting and getting everything ready. Still don't really have any items, don't need to go back. Couple of kills. And we're going to try to push their tower a little bit more here and see if we can maybe sneak some kind of kill on him. try to finish this tower. It's not going to quite happen now. He flashes out here. I'm going to lunge back in and hit him with my Q and then ignite him again. And that's going to be another kill for us. I don't really know why he flashed towards us. He could have been doing it because he thought he was safe under his tower and to surprise us with a stun. Maybe Corky wasn't ready either. So we're going to take out that turret and try to get to him, but he was preparing for it that time. So he's going to get away. But for the most part, for that first little laning phase, not too bad. We got 3 kills, and I died once, but that's going to happen, like I said. Now that I'm back at base, I was able to buy a good amount of items fairly quickly. So typically, when I first go back, I'll get the first part of my boots, and then I'll immediately try to build a Zeal. It's just a great item. You get that little bit of move speed, you get some crit, and you get that attack speed. It seems to be a nice way to start. Some people might want to go with more damage first, but I get more of my damage early from runes. There, we're just going to take Dragon. I'm going to fast forward a little bit in this game because nothing really happens for the next 3 levels. We just kind of push back and forth mid. But like I said, I had time to get those items. And so I got my Zeal. I did finish off my boots. I do go with attack speed boots for Graves. And then I also did buy a BF sword. And I'm going to build that first. As you can see now, I did get another item. I got the pickaxe. I am building that into an Infinity Edge. So I'm going to start there. I can see here, Corky ran back up forward, so I just dove in real quick to finish him off with my ult. Luckily, my ult does have good range on it, so it is something you can use to finish off people if they don't go back. We're going to finish off him there. He got up too close, and Jarvan did ult on him. I did take some good damage, and I had to flash out of his ult because I was stuck in it. But that was okay. I ended up getting another kill, and I'm safe. Couple assists now, too. But I'm going to, like I said, build towards my Infinity Edge first. It seems to be the first real big key item to get with him. The damage output with his abilities are they just hurt. So that's the reason why we're trying to build for all that damage right now. Also, the crit chance is very good as well, as everyone will know that Infinity Edge has. We're also going to head down here now. I can see that we have some play. We tried to take Dragon. Now they are trying to take our Dragon, and now we're all kind of coming in from all sides. I move in on Gangplank and try to hit him. I think I hit him with an ult here, but it doesn't quite kill him as he's getting away. And I'm slowed by Singed. We jump in here. I can't get out of the ult, so I'm just going to kill Singed real quick from there. Luckily, I have fairly good range. I'm going to go look for him, but I'm going to turn around and notice that our team's still here. I'm going to blow him up really quick with a couple moves. And I just peek my head out, see if I can see any of them. But it would appear not. So I'm going to head back. But after I do finish off my Infinity Edge, which I did last time I went back, I started going with some lifesteal. I'm going to start building towards my Bloodthirster. It is going to just be good for survivability in lane and while fighting, just to have all that lifesteal, and obviously more damage is going to be nice as well. Just going to hit Tarek there a little bit and do some good damage to him. As for, I think something's going to probably happen here as well. As you can tell, I slow it down every time something's going to happen. Oh, that's another thing I want to mention. Along with that little quick dash you can do, it's a great way to surprise people who still have as much life as he did when that started. You can just dash over to him, and since you get even more increased attack speed, you just can hit him even more times. So dash over to him, get your Q off right away to see if you can hit him with multiple bullets to do that bonus damage, and then just attack him. And I always do the ignite once I slide over to him, see if I have a chance. And it did happen again, got a kill on him, so that's good. Gangplank once again gets out of the ult. He gets hit by it, but doesn't kill him. I don't know if he's building some defense that I don't know of, but that's happening. So I threw down my smoke there, see if they'd get stuck or run in it. I'm running away from Singed because he's been trying to flip me most of this game. I'm going to start poking at him now, and I'm going to crit him a little bit, which is going to do good damage. And we're just going to end him off here. He's got nowhere to go. I am legendary now, which is not too bad for, I think, my 3rd game with this character. I tweaked the build a couple of times, and I saw what other people were doing with him, and noticing that they were building him wrong. So this actually seems to be the best way. I haven't seen anybody build him better. So I see some people try to go with more defensive items first and try to get a lot more life. I don't know if they're trying to go Atmos, but it's not working for them. Finally do get a hold of Gangplank there that time and get him killed. Trying to chase down Xerath there, but he gets out. I thought I was going to shoot him one more time, but I didn't. I end up killing Tarek again, and I'm trying to run forward to get in there. It's not looking like it. I did a dash. I'm going to poke Singed a little bit, but I don't want to run in there. Xerath's standing back there hitting us, and I don't want to really tank that right now. So I'm going to just kind of jolt back out to the side. I'm also going to stand out here and poke a little bit, see if I can't hit him, and I do, which is nice, so I do finally get my kill that I was looking for. You can poke through that wall really well. I've done it a couple games. You can also throw down that smoke screen at the front of their base so they can't really run out too far forward. But yeah, so everything's going pretty well so far. I'm going to now shift over and talk about my mastery setup. It is pretty generic. I end up going with the 21-0-9. 21 in the offense tree, you know, build up there so you're doing more damage. I don't really do anything in defense because I just want all damage output. As long as you have a steady tank on your team, you're going to be probably pretty safe. But then I do the 9 in the utilities, and I build up for experience and gold and a couple other things in there. So that's the way we're doing that for masteries, at least the way I do it. As for my rune page setup, it's typical to a lot of my other attack damage champions. I go with armor penetration marks. I go with flat cooldown reduction glyphs. I go with armor seals, and I go with attack damage quintessences. It's pretty basic. I think the most important thing out of all those is the armor penetration marks. Here I find Corky gonna jungle. I'm just gonna run in here and just end him quickly. This is just to show some of the damage I can do. I do have my Bloodthirster now last time I went back, and I did finish off my Zeal finally into Phantom Dancer. Now, some people are probably thinking, why not just finish off that Phantom Dancer first if you built that Zeal right away? I don't think it's a bad idea to do it, but I wouldn't recommend it as much because I know you're getting more crit and you do get more speed and you get more attack damage, but your crits aren't going to be worth as much because you still don't have as much attack damage. So finish off your Infinity Edge first to just get your core damage down, really, and then start going for your attack speed after that. And then I obviously did a Bloodthirster just so I could have some more survivability while fighting. But that's the way I do all of those things for items. At this point, I would say that that is the core build right there. Those 4 main items, the boots, and the 3 bigger items. Doran's Blade is going to get sold late game, obviously. And we're getting later in the game. We're going to take Baron now, just because that's always nice to have. But I think now your next 2 items depend on the team you're playing. If the team you're playing is more squishy, I would suggest going with the Black Cleaver, just because the attack speed is nice, and you obviously get more damage as well, so you'll just be able to eat through them a little bit faster. But in this case, since they do have a couple tankier people on their team, I am going to start building toward Madrid's Blood Racer. So that's just going to be the item I'm going to go with next. I already have a decent amount of attack speed, and I do get my increased attack speed when I do use my E to dash. So that's just the way I'm going to go about that. So there I see 2 of them, and my team's chasing. So now I'm going to come around the side of them, and my team stops chasing, and I run into a lot of them. That is going to be me dying. So kind of gave up my legendary status because I thought my team kept chasing and they didn't. But I'm going to get an assist there, and they're going to go clean up a couple, and they're going to take this turret. So not all hope is lost, but definitely kind of an accident that I ran in there and died. But it'll happen. So as for Graves' gameplay so far, I think he's just really fun champion to play. He, as you can see, does great damage to minion waves with that cone shot of the Q. So you can clear waves out quick. He's also good at taking towers, especially this late in game when you have so much attack damage. I think I have 368 right now, which isn't too bad. You can just mow through things. Now I'm going to run up here because Skarner's having some issues with Gangplank. I'm going to come in here and just kill Gangplank so he doesn't die. He doesn't have much life. And I just one really, Q on him, and 1 poke's going to end him off. I'm critting for some fairly large numbers right now. So I would definitely recommend this champion for people who want a new ranged carry on their team, or want to play somebody who's a new ranged carry. I think some of the other ones aren't getting necessarily old to play, but he is fun and he's fresh. So I think he's just fun to play in lane. You can take him mid too. I've seen some people take him mid. They've done only okay-ish, but it's definitely possible. He has the damage output and the poke to be able to hang out in lane for a long time. But yeah, he's just a good champion all around, in my opinion. Future nerfs for him? Possibly. I don't really think so. If you focus him, he does die. But for the most part, he's pretty good at holding his own. Now you can see we just kind of have the whole them pushing back, us pushing back thing. I use my ult there, it does some damage, but they can just go back and heal. I flash but get stuck or something, but we're just trying to do some more damage, and an ally has been slain, you know, all the good stuff. And at this point, I'm just going to start poking him because it's going to end. I end up getting gangplanked one more time right before we're going to finish this off. But that's going to be this game, and solid play. I haven't lost a game with him yet, and things have been going well. So let me know if this build works out for you. I'm going to run off now since I got flipped right when it was ending. I don't know why he's running. But yeah, go ahead, comment, subscribe, and like. Tell me what you guys think, and let me know if this build works for you. And I'll see you in the next video.